Spice Girls.
Did we just do 3, 2, 1 Spice Girls?
Yes, I did.
Is that what you said?
Yep.
Making sure I heard you correctly.
I had a lot of fresh air today.
Fantastic. That's great. Hey guys, so this is Kat and Ash, and you're listening on our Empathetic Villains podcast to this bonus episode, which is going
Sorry. We
with
didn't
your
have any
hype music,
Yeah. You get what it was supposed to be.
which is going to be something we're going to open up on our Patreon at some point. We're working on it. But so this is going to be a little bit different than our normal podcast. It's going to be a place where we share a collection of things that we find thrilling, confusing, entertaining, creepy, just things that make your brain go, what? That sort of thing.
Or
So
Probably.
conspiracy theories, true crime, paranormal activity, just stuff that for me
Basically things that make our spicy brains happy.
right. So, and I think I was thinking about that today while I was writing down and doing research for this, and I wrote it down because I was like, I can't forget to say this, but like, I think I like all the like conspiracy and true crime stuff because it distracts me from being in my own brain, right? Because I'm sitting there analyzing the other person's brain, going, how do they think like that? I don't how do you ever get your brain to think like that? So I'm not ripping myself apart for a small amount of time. I'm ripping someone else's brain apart. And so I think that's why I think it's a good distraction for me. I don't know, or I'm just a psychopath, one or the other. We don't know. But so this is going to be a bonus episode on our regular channel, and then eventually this is going to be a series type thing on our Patreon once we finish getting that all set up. So what we're doing tonight is I am telling Kathy a story.
I like stories.
So I'm technically telling Kathy about a conspiracy theory. I love a good conspiracy theory. I'm pretty I pretty much don't believe a lot of them, like, legitly. However, there are some that are very intriguing to think about, and I just find it fascinating how one person can see a situation as one thing, and then somebody else can interpret it as a completely different thing, and it fascinates me how other people's brains work and, like, seeing the progression of that.
The audio from TikTok keeps coming in my head. You don't believe in any conspiracy theories?
I don't know that one.
Not even one? I'll try and find it and I'll repost it because it's my
Perfect.
favorite.
So, that's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna talk about a conspiracy theory. So, again, conspiracy theories we talk on here are just gonna be, you know, lighthearted as they can be, and we're not saying we believe any of these things for certain, but it's interesting to think
For
about.
yourself. Just kidding.
I don't know, maybe we do, but
Hey, maybe we're open-minded like that.
we are open-minded. So one
Bigfoot.
conspiracy theory that has fascinated me for a long time, I've heard a billion different people speak on it, um, is what I'm going to share with you today. So that conspiracy theory is about the Titanic.
Oh, Jesus.
So
I
if
say this because she sent me a terrifying video last night of the Ocean Gate. Is that what we're calling it? Is that what it is?
I
The
think that's the
submarine?
company, but
Oh.
the submarine. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
very
it was the
terrifying.
most terrifying video I've ever seen in my life, and it wouldn't stop. It just kept going.
You know you can turn it off, right?
No, I was too invested.
That's what I thought.
Anyways, moving on. Sorry.
So this one is just probably one of the first ones I heard that really made me sit back and think for a second. So that's kind of why I gravitated towards that to be the first one we talk about. And actually, I found some new theories that I didn't even know existed when I was looking for the one theory that I did know about. So it was interesting to see that people have come up with even more conspiracy theories when it comes to the Titanic.
Before you hurt my brain, I feel like you owe me a picture of Leonardo DiCaprio. So I have something soothing to look
To look at. Well, it won't scare you, hopefully, because none of this is scary, but
The ocean is terrifying.
but it is something that I find really interesting. So, we are going to talk about the conspiracies behind the Titanic. So are you ready, Kathy?
Yes, I'll put my Legos.
You can, hey, if that's how your brain works, go ahead.
Nope, it's making me angry. I'm
Okay,
listening.
fantastic. All right, so in 1912, you may have heard of the ship that sank, the Titanic. Over 1,500 people lost their lives in this disastrous incident. Over the years, all kinds of conspiracy theories have been thrown around, and I just want to take you through a couple.
2 people could have fit on the door. That's all I'm
It's
saying.
factual. The movie said so. Um, these are just theories that I find just incredibly fascinating and mind-bending, but again, like I said before, they're all speculation. To me, it's just interesting the brain progression from person to person, how different it can be. So we know the history of the Titanic as what? It hit an iceberg, correct, and sunk.
Iceberg, dead ahead.
So that's like what we know as the history of it.
Correct.
Let's see what others have spun out of this. So the first theory that we're going to talk about is that the Titanic never sank. Have you ever heard of this before?
The Titanic not sinking, yes.
Okay. So for me, this is the theory I was originally looking for because I've heard of it before and I think it's fascinating. So to start talking about this first theory, we're going to first discuss a different ship that was not the Titanic, but it was called the Olympic. So
Seems sketchy.
if if you haven't ever heard of the Olympic, here is what you need to know. So the Olympic was a ship that was part of White Star Line, which happens to also be the same company that the Titanic was also a part of. So how it goes is just 1 year prior to the Titanic disaster, the Olympic had issues of its own. In 1911, so the year before, the Olympic crashed into a warship. Have you heard this?
No.
So supposedly in that crash, White Star Line was the one that was deemed liable for the accident. So that meant that they wouldn't receive any insurance payout for the ship being damaged.
Been there, White Star, been there.
So this is what this theory is kind of based off of, is they couldn't get the insurance payout for the Olympic when it crashed. So now that you know that information, do we have any idea where this is going?
I do,
Y
but
you
do
do?
you want me to ruin it?
No, you can chime in at any point if you know this one.
I have this theory of twin ships, and you know how twins like to switch places to screw with people.
Ooh. So,
Mhm.
White Star Line was a subsidiary of the International Mercantile Marine Company. So, in this theory, the International Mercantile Marine Company is believed to have fixed the Olympic up just enough and disguise it as the Titanic.
Just put some duct tape on it, it's fine.
So are you starting to like see where this is going, you guys? So
They
if
pulled a
they
Freaky Friday.
what?
pulled a Freaky Friday.
So if they sent this already damaged ship out and it sank, then they would be able to collect an insurance payout finally on a ship. So they'd still have the Titanic fine, and then they'd be able to get an insurance payout for the fake Titanic, which is really the Olympic.
Sneaky snakes.
Sneaky snakes. So now, obviously, this has never been proven, and there's a lot of evidence to the contrary of all of these things. But I just think it's fascinating the way that, there's a couple coincidences in there that kind of make you go, okay, that makes a little bit of sense. Like if you could show me evidence to back it up, I would maybe kind of believe it.
I can show you evidence to anything your heart desires.
Oh my.
I know how Photoshop works.
Oh, Photoshop's scary. So that's the original theory that I had heard of in the past um was that they switched the two ships so they could get the insurance payout for the ship that was already wrecked. Again, that seems like quite a terrible way to get money by, having 1,500 people perish just
Did they
to.
intentionally run it into the iceberg or did it sink some other way?
I've heard that as a theory too before. I've heard quite a few. But the second theory I'm going to tell you about, I have never heard of before. And I mean,
Hmm.
maybe I have and I forgot about it, but when I was reading it, I don't think I've heard this one before. So theory 2 has to do with murder.
Oh. Well,
So
Rose did murder Jack, so I mean, that's true.
technically she did. Gosh, Rose, get it together.
Ah,
So in theory 2, we are going to discuss an elaborate murder plot. So
dun, dun,
during
dun.
dun dun dun. So during this time period, JP Morgan wanted to create a US Federal Reserve Bank, and three of his biggest rivals just happened to be aboard the Titanic on its maiden voyage.
Sneaky snakes.
So, as the theory goes, the sinking was the result of Morgan's ploy to get rid of his rivals. What? So, to add speculation to the theory, I should tell you guys that Morgan was originally supposed to be on the ship, but shortly
Did he have
before
a
the ship.
creepy mustache?
I'm sorry, what?
Did he have a creepy mustache? Villains always have creepy mustaches, except us. We're cute.
I don't know. I didn't look up his picture.
I need visuals, ma'am.
Next time I'll make you a PowerPoint to show you while I'm talking to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I got your back. So he was supposed to be on the ship, but shortly before departure, he changed his mind. Now, I didn't delve too far into like how much time is considered shortly before.
He said, "Oh, I got a text. I gotta go.
Right. Like, was it 5 minutes before? Was it a couple weeks before? Like, I don't know. I
Just
didn't delve.
gotta scoot right past you. Sorry."
So I didn't do that in depth of research, but I just thought it was interesting. So the three rivals of JP Morgan, they did all three perish with the wreck. But people who oppose this whole theory note that one or more of the men could have potentially survived the disaster. So would this have been the best course of action to get rid of the three of them?
Not if you lock them in their rooms.
Yeah, but he wasn't on the boat.
Oh, maybe well, obviously you pay people if you have that much money.
Could be. Could be.
Maybe he trapped them in the lower decks where they locked people in.
Ooh,
Just
terrible.
saying. I did no research on the Titanic, so I am completely going off of the movie. You're welcome.
Well, I did do some research, but very limited because we just wanted to do a short little episode to show you guys what we are planning to do with the whole Patreon. So, and see how long we want to make the videos, so how much research we want to go through and how detailed we want to get into different things. So, yeah, this is just episode 1 and we'll refine it as we go. And I don't know if you guys want to hear more information about things or you're really invested in the conspiracies, we can definitely go more in depth in the future. So that was theory 2 was murder.
Hmm.
And then theory
Murder on a
3
boat.
theory 3
Un, deux, trois. Yeah, we're on trois. Okay.
is oh my goodness, is having to deal with a curse. So, it's
Love me some curses.
right up
Oh, shit.
right up Kathy's alley. So in this theory, this last theory we're going to talk about, we are bringing mummies to the table. Mummies.
Okay. Okay.
Just listen.
I'm listening. You
Okay.
leave them in the tombs. That's what I'm saying.
Seriously, just stop touching things, people. Leave
Stop
them where they
touching
are.
things.
I'm done. I'm done. Just leave things where they are, please. Oh gosh. Okay, so
Mummies.
I'm sure we have all heard of stories or legends or accounts of like cursed artifacts from Egypt or wherever it may be. I just say Egypt because I love Egypt documentaries and I
Then why you no love my puppy? She looks like one of those Egyptian doggies.
that doesn't a sphinx.
No, I don't remember what it's called. Those tall black dogs. Although she's tiny. Um,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
yes,
Got it.
cat-like dogs.
Yeah.
Anyway, I
She's
digress.
she's
Sorry,
cute, but
but she's a jerk.
sassy. Um, so yeah, you got me so distracted.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was just with my sister. She's my sister's dog, not mine. But she
Um,
loves her auntie.
so for this one, ma'am, keep on track here. I'm gonna go so far in the ditch, it's not even funny. So
I
in
sit here.
this theory, the curse theory, William Stead, who is a British editor, was one of the passengers on the Titanic. And prior to the shipwreck, he had spent several years claiming that there was a cursed mummy causing disasters in London. So it's said that he repeated the tale of the curse to the others on the Titanic, and a survivor detailed this to the Washington Post a month after the terrible tragedy. So he was on the boat spouting that
But was the mummy on the boat?
well, so here's the thing. According to some people, that mummy, the cursed mummy, was aboard the Titanic. It was being sent home after an American purchased it from the British museum it was in.
I'm gonna need what's his name to go down there with his robots and find me a mummy.
Elon Musk
No,
with
the,
robots.
the Titanic guy with the
Oh, Jane.
Discovery Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I was like, what?
that guy, James Cameron. It was on the tip of my tongue.
Oh my
He's got all
goodness.
the fun toys.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So, um,
Anyways, mummy might have been on board. Sorry.
might have been on board. Um, and then other people believe that Margaret Brown, which was another survivor and, depicted in the movie, um, who had other Egyptian artifacts with her on the ship, was the one carrying the curse around. So other people thought that she had cursed artifacts from Egypt that were the reason.
What if the heart of the ocean was a cursed
What if that was the cursed artifact?
necklace? Yeah. I don't think Egyptians had cursed hearts.
So, could the Titanic have been cursed? I don't know. It seems like there's no record of a mummy being loaded onto the ship, so I don't know
If
that
it
that
wasn't cursed then, it is now.
So I don't know. I don't know. Do you believe in curses?
I believe in ghosts, so yeah, we're gonna go with that.
All right. So
You leave Egypt alone. You do not dig up the creepy Egyptian. We'll get into that in a different episode. But Egypt is its own special
place.
paranormal place.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I I don't know. Maybe I believe in curses. I feel like every year on this earth I just start believing in more things that I didn't think existed because life is just kind of a movie at this point in time and you never know what's coming next. So yeah, I thought it was fascinating that I found two new theories that I had never heard of. But what do you think, Kathy? Did the Titanic actually sink how they told us it did?
I mean, more and more, I don't know. I just don't know how a skilled person with that much staff. First of all, they weren't even supposed to be over there. How did they derail that far over that they were amongst the icebergs?
I've heard a lot of other conspiracies too that are more, that like you said they were off course or they knew there were issues ahead of time or it was a clear night and he would have seen the iceberg from a zillion miles away. So it's
But then again,
interesting.
yeah, you're like user error because this was way back in the day where they didn't have all the fancy navigation tools and the whistles and bells and poor working conditions. So, yeah, I mean, theoretically, is it possible that it was a very tragic accident? Sure. Have I done the research to see plausibility of an ice cutting through that size of a ship? No. But I mean, I went to science class and I've seen things of nature. Nature is crazy and
I
can
went
do a
to
lot of things.
science
I
class.
went to science class. I learned things.
I know how to Google.
We didn't have Google back then.
I know. As I was writing down all the stuff to talk to you about, I was like writing down my sources too so I can credit them. And I was like, I feel like I'm in high school again, just like, okay, cite your sources and write a 500-word essay on the Titanic. What?
I could have given you my nephew's research because they were both obsessed with. I think we have a bunch of Titanic books,
Really?
and I don't know if I think they both used to watch like documentaries. So I feel like I should have known some of these things.
I just love conspiracy theories and I love hearing even like from person to person talking about it because I listen to a lot of like podcasts where they talk about conspiracy or YouTube or whatever. Like everyone adds in different details too, or you hear something that's reaffirmed. And I just find it fascinating and could listen to conspiracy theory ideas all day and find it fascinating.
Some of them are pretty. I mean, you know how my brain works. Like, I'll go down the rabbit hole. Will I believe everything? Probably not. But like, you pick and choose. You're like, oh, well, that makes sense. And I think part of it is also like, if you are intuitive, like you pick up on things and you're like, for me, that settles in like that makes sense to me. But everybody's brains work differently, and sometimes sometimes people's brains aren't 100%.
Well, I think you can't ever forget to question things sometimes, right? Shouldn't question everything, but you also shouldn't question nothing. So,
But you shouldn't be so stuck on something that like it's absolute truth and you're going to go to your grave making someone believe that that is the truth.
mhm.
Like, yeah, it could be a theory and you could 100% be correct, but is it worth dying on the hill for?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, do you need people to, is it detrimental that you need people to believe this?
Yeah, it's one of those things when it goes to an extreme, then you're like, "Okay, yeah, let's take it down a notch." But
Well, look at how Storm Area 51 started out as a joke, but like there are people who are really like gung ho and see what happens. Like something starts out as a joke, but then like for people that are like really wanting the answers, they're all
then
about it.
then they
And then
effed
it just
around and then
more.
they had to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying that we didn't have a right to know things, but let's be respectful about it. Let's maybe not take on the government.
Ain't nobody got time for that right now.
District 21.
So yeah, that's bonus episode number 1 where we talked about the Titanic. And this is like what I do on a nightly basis. I just listen to something and then I start Googling about it and then I go down a rabbit hole and then I watch 7,000 videos on it and then I think about it and I find it fascinating and I analyze the whole thing. Like that's fun to me at night. I don't know why, but it is. So, today was a crappy day and this is the kind of thing I would do on a crappy day to make myself feel better. Look up crazy conspiracy theories, analyze them, pick them apart. That's my jam.
It's your jam.
Mhm.
That was the name of the burger I had last night.
That was the name of the burger you had last night. We went to dinner last night.
Is Bar Louie like a thing everywhere? Or is that just like a Milwaukee thing?
I know there used to be one like in Wisconsin. I don't know if like I know I've seen other ones in Wisconsin, but I don't know if it's like a chain
A
thing like a
chain?
Olive
Yeah.
Garden or anything, but
I only thought there was one in Milwaukee, and obviously now the one in Brookfield. Or is it the same one? It just moved. Anyways,
I don't
anyways,
know.
it was delicious either way. So if you're in the area,
Yeah, we had a great dinner and hung out last night and then talked in the parking lot for like 2 hours.
fantastic.
Yeah. So, that's your story for tonight, peoples, and we are gonna have to do some experimenting with recording going forward.
We're transitioning with our audio,
Yeah. So
so we apologize
So hopefully this
for.
one goes great and then we'll figure out for next time. But that is your fun little bonus episode. Let us know what, creepy things you want to hear about paranormal, true crime, conspiracy theory, whatever you want to talk about.
I will
So
go down the rabbit hole for you.
correct. So we'll probably go back and forth, tell each other each have a topic every time we do it
I
and
will terrify Ashley for you.
it's going to be
Just
terrible.
give me a alien topic.
No, it's gonna be so bad. I'm just gonna squirm the whole time you're talking and make
You
terrible noises.
literally sent me
I
my
know.
deepest, darkest ocean fear.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, that's not. I mean, I knew what happened, but it was.
It
The
sucked
video you
me
sent me was
into
like extra graphic.
it sucked me into, which is why I had to send it to you, because our love language with each other is just sending each other 8,000 TikToks every single night,
Correct.
and then I forget to go back and watch some of them, and then I have to go watch them because I feel bad because you sent them to me. So then you all of a sudden in, like, one little one-minute period of time, she'll see I'll, like, heart something, "Ha ha," then I'll
And then
respond
I
to
don't even
them
know what they are.
because it's been, like, 2 hours, so you don't even remember
Correct.
what you
I'm like,
sent. The other day I sent you one and you responded and you were like, "I literally sent you that 3 TikToks ago."
correct. I sent her this girls weekend TikTok, and like she started watching them, and then she sent it to me. Like, ma'am, I just sent this to you. I know it was a good video. That's why I sent it. But now, because we like the same things and we share the same videos, our TikToks are basically the same feed.
Oh my gosh, I'm a special human, aren't I?
But that's why I love
Oh
you.
my gosh, you and only you.
Now you've started my Lego addiction.
I'm sorry. Legos are great.
Isn't it perfect?
It is perfect. I love Legos is a very relaxing thing to do. If you are stressed out and need to shut off your brain.
No, this one made me angry for a minute because I couldn't figure it out. I bought these little camping dudes, and this little Lego lady, has a big old camera and a little satchel, and it's perfect because I like photography. So, but I there was like two pieces I didn't understand how they went together, but
I'm
I figured
surprised
it
you
out.
didn't video chat me to help you.
Well, see, I feel like we were originally talking about Legos one night, and I probably said I'm just not into it because I get frustrated.
That's what I thought when you told me yesterday you bought Legos. I was like, I distinctly remember us having a conversation, and I do forget a lot of things we talk about, but I distinctly remember having a conversation where you said something about, like, not liking Legos or not
Wasn't
enjoying
interested
them.
in it. Right, because I think when I was little, I never got like sets of Legos. I think we just had random Legos, and I'm not like super creative, like start building things from scratch. Like
Right on.
even like with drawing, like I need to have like an idea of what it is, and like I enjoy putting furniture and stuff together. So I think I've appreciated like Legos and stuff more since I've had my nephews, and they're like into that kind of stuff. So like helping them build the, like when they were little they had like the Transformers.
Mhm.
So I'd always have to do the Transformers, but by the time they got to the little, my little, well, he's not little. They're only like 2 years apart, maybe 3 years apart. I don't remember. 3 or 4, 2 to 4 years apart. I don't remember.
2, 3,
And
4, I don't know.
I don't remember anymore. um, but by the time the second one gets them, like there's pieces missing, so I'm having to transform these transformers with pieces missing. I'm like, I think that's how. So like, I think that helped a little with my puzzle solving skills. And then now, like the puzzle boxes. Well, I'm sure they did back then, but I never got Legos as a kid. I don't know. I think my mother was just sick of losing the pieces.
That's
I don't
why
know.
I hyper fixated on organizing all of our Legos by color and putting them in drawers, color coded. I went through every Lego in this house.
If I
And
don't have a plan for it,
for like a
no.
week, me and Andy sat there and separated Legos, and he just went along with it because I'm insane.
If I'm getting Legos, they're staying put together. I will glue them together.
Well, that's like any of the Legos that I buy for myself, like when we went to Disney in January, I bought myself a Haunted Mansion Lego set. So, like, that one I built, and that stays in our room, and, like, that's a decorative set.
I didn't
So,
see that.
yeah.
Anyway, well, yeah, because they're coming out with like super cool Legos now, and I think it is good for your creative brain. I just never had the patience. But I think helping like my because they come in, they're like individual packets now, which my brain can handle. You're not like sifting through all the pieces,
Can you hear
and
Dex?
the book, no,
He's crying.
no, the book is like step by step, like little steps, not just like here.
Figure out these 18 steps in one.
Right. So I think that has helped me. So I'm giving it another chance, and I just thoroughly enjoy these little.
Maybe one day Lego will sponsor us and send us free Legos.
My cousin used to work at Lego,
That's cool.
and now she works for NASA.
I like Legos.
She's amazing.
All right, so we are gonna let you guys go.
That was our tangent. I digress. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. There's always going to be a tangent. You're never going to get exactly what we said we're going to talk about. It's always going to go somewhere off in the ditch at some point. So stay tuned for our next regular episode. Probably record later this week or beginning of next week. And
We're working
then,
on figuring it out.
yeah, we'll figure it out at some point. And then also check out our Patreon once we get things up and running, and it'll be way more organized than this, and hopefully maybe kind of sort of. And
Maybe.
we will hopefully blow your mind with all kinds of cool facts and information. So that's it for us for tonight. Have a super fabulous evening or
Just
day.
know that I'm doing
Wherever.
air horns in my head for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Okay, love
welcome.
you guys. Bye.
Bye.